Hello everybody, this is Sinema77, horror and cult film lover, and we are back with another video. Today we are going to wrap up the set of the Tinto Brass Master of Erotic Cinema, or Maestro of Erotic Cinema collection. And we did all the films. We did Black Angel, we did Private, we did More, and today we're going to talk about Cheeky. And I just finished watching this a little while ago, and there we go. So try to give you a little bit of an idea there. That one there, that's Cheeky. And this movie, when did this one come out? This came out in 2000. Okay. And this one here, I know I admit I've been kind of rough on some of these Tinto Brass movies. I know Black Angel I didn't like. Because like I said before, Nazi love story, nobody cares. Private, like I said, a series of short films and everything else, but is really cheating funny? When you cheat on somebody, is that funny? Mona Moore, like I said, not miss. In a way, it's kind of erotica, but it kind of is more kind of into porno territory and stuff like that. Oh, by the way, somebody had mentioned to me the other day. I had mentioned about the movie Private that there was a scene where two women go to the bathroom and one woman says, "I need to pee," so she sits on the toilet, and the other girl is so turned on, she's like, "Oh, let me drink your piss," and all this other kind of stuff. So she's like, like this, and I had mentioned that to someone, not here on YouTube, but I had mentioned it to someone, and they told me that when you drink a woman's piss, apparently it's known as female champagne. So the more you know. So I guess if you meet a woman that you really like, or okay, say maybe like her, for example, if you really want to drink or pee, I guess you ask her if you can have some female champagne. So there you go. So now we know that. That's good to know, right? So, but anyway, though, now, like I said, I was kind of rough on some of these movies because just you know, eh, I don't know, just not really too much of erotica and stuff like that, story wise, or But Cheeky, I do have to admit, I was a little bit more pleasantly surprised by Cheeky than I was by the other films. Um, yeah, the story concerns Carla and Matteo. Carla, she's living. It's kind of funny that Carla lives in London, and yet everybody in London apparently only speaks Italian. Of course, again, too, I mean, look at how many American war movies, like how many American World War II movies where somebody like goes to, you know, like somebody goes to fight in Germany, and it's amazing how all Germans all of a sudden speak English. So it's funny. But anyway, getting back to the story, we have the story concerns Carla and Matteo. Now, Carla, she's in London and she's looking around and all this stuff. And what it is she's trying to find a place for her and her boyfriend Matteo. Well, Matteo's more her fiance, and Matteo, he's still off, and I believe in Italy, and he's like studying for exams and everything else. He's getting ready to finish school, and he's getting ready to come to be with her and stuff. Well, so anyway, so the movie opens. You got Carla. She's walking through this park, and it's amazing. Like this, wow. I mean, like any other place in the world, I'm not even sure this would be. I don't even know if this would work in Britain, because Britain, tends to be kind of strict, with their laws, especially concerning sex and stuff like that. Like public indecency and things like that. But as the movie opens, the credits are unfolding and stuff like that. Well, she's walking through this park, and it's like everybody is screwing. There's like interracial couples going, there's gay couples going, there's this, there's that, and everything else. And um just everybody just going at it in this park. Just everybody sucking and fucking in this park and all this other kind of stuff. And she walks, she's walking along and all this stuff, and she's got this top on and everything else. She's perky and all this stuff, and the skirt she's wearing, short skirt and everything else, and it's kind of see through and everything else. You can see her butt through it and stuff. But then at one point she comes across a flasher and everything else, and he opens his coat, flashes her, hey baby, you like that? And so she lifts up her skirt. She's like, do you like it? And he's like, oh. And she's like, I have to say, the girl Carla in this movie, though, she really does have. I don't know. People may disagree with me on this who've seen the movie, but I don't know. To me, Carla has almost kind of like a Taylor Swift kind of look. Not like when Taylor Swift was back doing the country music and stuff like that, but kind of like now when she's doing because like Taylor Swift now kind of like, sexed up her image and all that other kind of stuff. And to me, it's like Carla almost has kind of like a Taylor Swift kind of look to her. That's just my opinion. So anyway, so the movie's starting, and so she goes and she goes to this real estate office, and she meets this beautiful woman named Moira, and and so she's like telling her, yeah, I just this is where I work and this and that, and I'd like to find an apartment, over in this area and all this stuff, and one bedroom, and and everything else. And Moira's like, okay, so why are you doing this? And and she mentions that her fiance Matteo, he's coming to be with her and everything else. And we learned right away that Moira is lesbian, and she instantly takes a liking to Carla. And she's like, hey, you want to, she's trying to seduce her basically. And so, she's all like, you want to go take a look at the apartment and all this other kind of stuff. And, I mean, she's wasting no time. I mean, she's like trying to like, grab her groin and all this other kind of stuff and everything else. And then she's like, no, no, all this, please don't do that and all that stuff. And so, she's all like, can we go look at it? And she's like, yeah, and all this stuff. And she's all like, so, how much is the rent going to be? She's all like, well, it depends on, how nice to me you're willing to be and all this other kind of stuff. So, but the thing is you know that encounter with Moira gets her kind of hot and bothered. So she goes home and she calls Matteo, and they're talking. Well, Matteo at first, he's talking to a buddy of his, and this buddy's talking about how he wants to go screw this guy's girlfriend and all this other kind of stuff. And he's like, well, don't you think this is gonna piss him off? It's like, well, this guy doesn't know his girlfriend's the biggest skank in the world and all this stuff. It's a Tinto Brass movie, so yeah, it doesn't take long before we start with the people calling women whores, pigs, sluts, bitches. It's a Tinto Brass movie, so it doesn't take long before we get started with the name calling. But anyway, though, so yeah, they're sitting there talking and stuff, and Mateo's talking about how infatuated he is with Carla, and he loves Carla, wants to be with her, and everything else. And this buddy of his is like, basically say like, yeah, just wait, dude. The minute, yeah, you've been away from her. I'm pretty sure she's been banging other guys and all this other kind of stuff. And so they start talking on the phone and everything else. And, she's telling Mateo about the place she found. And he's like, wanting to know how much. And she's like, well, it hadn't said yet, because this girl Moira is talking about we're going to work out a deal. And she mentions, she's being honest. She's all like, this girl, Moira, she's taking a liking to me and all this other kind of stuff. And so, he's getting kind of irritated. And I know I'm trying to like, where I'm not covering up the titles of the movie, but I'm not trying. I know you guys want to see the image, so I'm trying not to cover up either one. So, but sorry. Anyway, going back to it. So, so they're talking about it and all this other kind of stuff. And so she's masturbating. She's telling him, please come. I need you. And I can't wait for you to get here. I need you. I want you. I love you. And all this other kind of stuff. And so, but he's starting to get suspicious. And she asked him, could you like stop at, my family's house and pick up, I have a book about dreams, and, I have this pair of panties, they have like butterflies on them and stuff that I really want, I need you to pick it up for me. And so he says he'll do it and stuff. And so the next morning she goes with this Moira to, go see the place and all this stuff. And so, they go into the apartment, they're looking, she's checking it out and all this other kind of stuff. And, um, you know, she's wearing these really teeny weeny little shorts that are kind of like going right up and showing her ass and everything. And so Moira takes her chance, and, she goes and just, pretty much pulls the shorts off of her and everything, goes down on her. And, and she's all like, oh, let me love you. Let me have you and all this other kind of stuff. And And I was like, oh, Moira, make me come. I need to come. Oh, yes, 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 and all this stuff. And so, so they basically have sex and stuff. And she gets the apartment, obviously. So, so now we got a scene where Matteo, he goes to her home and, he's waiting for her father. The father, saying, yeah, he's all like, I'll see if I can find her stuff for her. So he's waiting outside and he sees these, like, kind of like, somebody loves somebody, written in chalk and stuff. And like one guy writes about, like, you make me jealous. My jealousy fuels my desire for you and all this other kind of stuff. And he's thinking, and, he's thinking about, Carla and everything else. And, he's thinking about like they're rowing a boat and all this other kind of stuff. And they're in the lake that he's rowing the boat and all this other kind of stuff, and there are these other guys rowing along and stuff, and she's wearing a little skirt. She decides to take off her panties and flash everybody, and um so the guys they're getting steered crooked and all this other kind of stuff, and so he gets all hot and bothered, and they start having sex, and he's all like, don't cheat on me and all, and she's like, if I did, you never know, and all this other kind of stuff. So he goes up into the father lets him in, and he's in there. He's looking for her stuff and everything else, and he comes across some letter. He's in a room. He comes across some letters and some pictures and stuff like that. At first, I wasn't really sure, but I thought maybe this was like something she did while they were together. But you come to find out, it's like, um, you know, so I mean that was kind of the thing. I was worried that we were going to have it to where Carla was going to be this really unlikable woman, and she was going to be kind of just a shitty girlfriend and stuff like that. But you come to find out that it's like, okay, when she first started dating Mateo, she was seeing another guy, and this other guy, they had a thing going and stuff like that. But she realized she was not in love with this guy. She was in love with Mateo, and she wanted to be with him. And she explains later on in the movie that he wrote to her saying, "Come be with me here in France," because he went to France. Come be with me in France and everything else. And she never went with him because she loves Mateo. She wants to be with him. And so, at first you're thinking she's going to be a terrible girlfriend, but then you realize actually, no, she's not. I mean, she was with this guy, but when at first she didn't realize how much she loved Mateo, but when she did, she realized she wanted to be with Mateo and not this other guy. So anyway, so but he finds the letters and everything else, and so he's in there. Oh, you whore, you bitch, and all this other kind, you slut, and all this other kind of stuff. And so she calls him and everything else, and she's all like, hey, I can't, oh my god, I can't wait for you to be here and everything else, and I love you, I miss you, and all this other kind of stuff. And he's all like, I'm not coming, and all this other, the guy's really being a jackass. He's really being an idiot about it. I mean, it's like, um he's kind of like, what he needs to realize is like, dude, when you get into a relationship with a woman, you can't really hold it against her that she had a past before she met you. you know so I mean, you can't expect a woman to just live like in a monastery, live a life of celibacy until she meets you. I mean, she doesn't know where life is going to take her. She doesn't know who she's going to meet, who she's going to love or not love, or whatever else. So, but anyway, so he's telling her he doesn't want to go there and everything else, and she's destroyed over this. She's crying her eyes out, and she's hurt, and she's sad, and everything else. And then she gets a call from Moira, and Moira is telling her, and she's talking about like, yeah, we had a fight, and he doesn't want to come here, and and I'm so lonely, and I want him here, and I love him, and all this other kind of stuff. And so at one point, they went to a kind of like a bathhouse kind of a thing, and they're going to saunas and massages and all this other kind of stuff. And um, Moira is like trying to put the make on, really like she's trying to take control of Carla, and Carla keeps telling her, "No, I'm not going to be with you. It's not going to happen. You got to understand. I like men. I'm not a lesbian. I like men. I want to be with a man. And all this. I want to be with Mateo." So, but Moira invites her out to a party and all this other kind of stuff. And she's just kind of like, well, I've been dumped. So I guess may as well go out and make some friends or whatever else. So, So she goes out to this party with Moira, and Moira introduces her to her ex husband, and there's all kinds of debauchery and stuff going on here, and everything else. And I promise. Okay, here's the thing: if anybody's sitting back waiting to say, is there plenty of nudity in Cheeky? I promise you, there is plenty of nudity. I mean, there is so much. I mean, I actually, now that I think about it, after seeing all, uh, pardon my crudeness, but after seeing all the vagina in this movie, I wonder if I could actually like qualify, get a license to become a gynecologist because you see so much of it in this movie. I'm not complaining, trust me, I'm not complaining at all, but just yeah, there is a lot of nudity in this movie. I guarantee you. Yeah, if you want nudity, this movie's got it. I promise you that. Lots of boob. What did I hear that one time? It was a boobs, bush, and butt, something like that. But anyway, yeah, there's plenty of that in this movie. I guarantee it. So anyway, so Carla goes to this party with Moira and everything else, and Moira introduces her to her ex-husband and all this stuff. And so they're talking and kind of getting into it and everything else. The one thing you're gonna know, okay, excuse me, okay, it leads into the movie Cheeky, and you kind of realize the reason why the movie is called Cheeky is because everybody is obsessed with Carla's ass. Okay, everybody loves Carla's ass. As far as in this movie, basically Carla is supposed to have the perfect female ass of any woman in the history of ever, I guess. So, so she's talking to Moira's ex, and they go into this bathroom and stuff, and they have it wouldn't be a Tinto Brass movie if you didn't have some anal in there. So yeah, there's a scene of anal, and so he gets done and all this kind of stuff, and he leaves the bathroom. Well, Moira, she's getting jealous and she's getting pissy, and she's looking for Carla and all this other kind of stuff. And Carla's in there, she's cleaning her asshole out on the bidet and stuff like that. And so Moira comes in and she's like, "You fucking bitch, you slut, and everything else. I didn't bring you here to screw my goddamn worthless ex-husband. I brought you here because I love you and I want you to be with me," and all this other kind of stuff. And Carla screams at her, she's very dramatic, and she's crying, "I don't want to be with you, goddamn it. I'm not a lesbian. I'm not interested in this. I want to be with Matteo," and all this other kind of stuff and everything else. And so, she's crying and all this, and she's like, "Something's wrong, and I don't know how to fix it, and I love Matteo, and I want to be with Matteo," and everything else. And, I was like, "Yeah, I was just with this guy, but it's not good. I want to be with Matteo. I love him. I want him back," and all this other kind of stuff. And so, Moira, starts in with the whole, seducing her again and everything else, kissing her and you know, playing with her, massaging her, vag and everything else. And, and she's all like, "You don't need him. Come on. We're women. We don't need men," going through that whole thing, and everything. Men are useless. Men are shit. Men are scum, blah, 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 blah. You don't need men and all this other kind of stuff. So they're getting it all. "See, we can do this ourselves. You don't need him," and all this. You got me and all this stuff. Well, Mateo, decides, that he really wants to, he's having bad dreams and everything else about leaving Carla alone, and, what that could mean. And it's driving him crazy that, she could be with anybody and all this other kind of stuff. And so he decides that, yeah, he can't stand it anymore. He needs to go there to be with her. And so, so he hops on a plane and he goes and, and he meets her at the apartment and all this stuff. And so when she goes and opens the door, she's thrilled to see him and stuff, but he's not happy and everything. And so he's all, talking about, like, "Yeah, well, what's been going on here? What have you been doing since I haven't come here?" and all this stuff and everything else. And then Moira walks in, and so Carla's all, "Oh, this is great. Mateo is here. I can't help. I'm so happy," and all this stuff. Well, Moira is kind of upset because, yeah, she realized she didn't win this. So, so she gets dressed and she leaves and all this stuff. And so she thought, well, she just slept here and all this other kind of stuff. everything else. And Mateo's like really pissed, and she's like, please, Mateo, just make love to me and do me and all this stuff. And she starts blowing him and all this, and he's like, he's pissed at her, and he's like, no, this isn't gonna work, and all this other kind of stuff. And it's like, you've been nasty, and you've been cheating on me and everything else. And she's like, no, no, it's not what you think. And so he pulls out the letters, and he's all like, what about this? And when did you do this, you slut, and all this other kind of stuff. And she explains to him, like, this was right around the time we met. And, yeah, I was with him, but then I realized I didn't want to be with him, that I love you and I want to be with you. And, I broke off everything with this guy, and, you're the one, and I don't want to be with anybody but you and stuff. And he's all like, I want you to sit down, and I want you to write out, like, every time you've been unfaithful to me. I want you to write out like every, bad thing you've done with somebody and all this other kind of stuff. And, so he's like, if you want me to be with you, you need to stop with the deception and lies and all this other kind of stuff. And so he gets up and he leaves. And so, and she's crying and everything, and she's upset. And, so she gets out a pen, she starts writing the stuff down. And she's writing down, basically, she's all like, I know you think I've been cheating on you. I know you think I've been unfaithful, but I promise you, I've never done that. I've been loyal to you. Yes, I was with him in the beginning, but then when I realized I love you, I broke it off, and there was never any other guys but you, and all this other kind of stuff. And meanwhile, Mateo, he goes to the same part that Carla went to at the beginning of the movie, and he's seeing like all these people screwing in this park and everything else. And he's watching this couple screwing on a park bench and everything else. And he sees another, I think it's the guy who flashed Carla at the beginning. He's going around watching watch all these people having sex in this park and stuff like that. And Mateo takes a moment, and he remembers back to this time when he was he was having an affair with a married woman. And it's a flashback, and he goes to visit her and all this stuff, and he's sneaking up to her house, and and she's all, oh, I'm hot and everything else, and she's got this see-through dress on and stuff like that. And and he's all, oh, I gotta have you. And she's like, yes, my pussy is burning and all this, take me and all this other kind of stuff. And so they get it on, and while they're doing it, he asks this woman, it's like, where's your husband? She's, well, he's working the night shift and stuff. And so while he's plowing this woman, and he happens to look at the door, and he sees this guy watching them do it. It's never clear if it's just some guy who's a voyeur, or if it's the husband, if the husband likes watching his wife have sex with other men or whatever else. Don't know, but Carl, Mateo, he realizes that basically, like, jealousy makes him want her more. And that's kind of the weird part of this movie, because I don't know too many people who are like, that yeah, I'm fine with my wife or my girlfriend cheating on me, or I'm fine with them lying to me and everything else. I love it because it makes me want them even more and all this. I don't know, that's kind of weird to me. It is anyway. But anyway, he snaps out of it. Carla comes up. She's like, here's the letter. I did what you want me to do. And he's like, okay, and he's telling her, is all like, I realize, like, the more that, and I guess this makes a degree of sense, that, the more that I see that other people want you, and the more that other people desire you, it makes me jealous, and my jealousy makes me want you even more. So it's like, so make me jealous of you, so that way, I keep wanting you and all this. And she's like, okay, well, if that's what I don't understand it, but if that's what you want, then yeah, I'll do it, because I love you and I want us to be together, for the rest of our lives and all this other kind of stuff. And, so he takes the paper, and he just wads up, throws it on the ground, and they start to walk off. And, this cop comes along, and he picks it up, and he's like, hey, who's responsible for this? And they turn around, and she just lifts up her skirt. She's got the butterfly panties on, and, she lifts up her skirt, flashes the cop and everything else. And and the movie ends on a close up of her vagina with, the butterfly panties on. So, and so that was the movie. And I gotta be honest, okay. Yeah, this movie, not particularly erotica so much. It really is more softcore pornography. Um, But this movie, I have to say, out of the four movies, I would have to say this one is probably my favorite of the four because this one here, you have more likable, interesting characters. Carla is really likable in the sense that um, like in some of these other movies, they just these women really have no sense of loyalty. The guys neither. So I mean, that's kind of it. I mean, that was kind of the big thing. A lot of these movies, these characters are really just unlikable. They have no sense of loyalty or anything like that. And Carla does have a sense of loyalty. Matteo, he's you kind of realize he's a little bit of a scumbag. Because here's a guy who he's pissed his girlfriend's going to cheat on him, and yet he was fucking another man's wife at one point, and all this other kind of stuff. So he's kind of but I do like that the fact that with Carla, you do get a sympathetic lead character that she does. Like I said, she has a sense of loyalty, and she's interesting. She cares about Mateo. It's clear she cares about him. The actress gives a good performance. She emotes really well. She cries when she's supposed to. Um, I mean, the women in this movie are gorgeous. Like I said, the women in this movie just stunningly beautiful. Yeah, if you want nudity, you're gonna definitely get the nudity. So you could take it from me. You can take my word for it. You can go into this movie knowing that yes, you're gonna see plenty of nudity. Everything. So you don't have to worry. But if I watch this movie, am I gonna see anything? So no, trust me, you're gonna see something, and it's not gonna take long to get there. I promise. But yeah, but actually, this one was one of the better movies. This one has a bit more of a like an erotica storyline in the sense that it's about a couple who are trying to sort through their feelings and realize that they love each other and that they want to be together, and they're dealing with issues in a relationship like anger and jealousy and rage and things like that. So yeah, I can actually recommend Cheeky out of this entire set. That's the one movie I definitely would recommend. So yeah, I like it. It was a pretty good movie. So that's it. We covered all four movies in the Tinto Brass Maestro of Erotic Cinema collection. So don't worry about it. There's more to come. So it's not like I've run out of stuff. So, but anyway, though, yeah, Cheeky. I would say I give that an A. Let's see, Black Angel. That's a D minus. Private B minus, and Monomore about B minus. So anyway, yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for the Tinto Brass collection. If anybody took the time to watch this video, I thank you for doing it, and I appreciate you for doing it. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. This is Sinema77, horror and cult film lover. And if you like really kinky, sexy, erotic kind of porn, I guess, films, then yeah, we're going to talk later. And you have a good day. I'll see you later.